Here are this week's Pool Together community podcast highlights.
It's very much like Signal, where you just have to create an identity once, and that kind of gets you on the network, and you can receive messages encrypted. So we found that great to use. But what we started to see is businesses wanting to create ENS names or even subdomains. So we've worked closely with like ENS DAO and this to onboard businesses where they can create, for example, chat.metamask.eth or chat.coinbase.eth. Like, doesn't exist yet, but you can imagine it could. And we were onboarding businesses, and the problem at the time was businesses would have to have someone there on the other end to do customer support. When Yelp introduced messages, now suddenly businesses had to have someone answering their Yelp messages. And this is at the same exact time that ChatGPT let businesses create their own, at the time, maybe subpar to customer support. But I think this next year that it's going to be above par, the average customer support that a startup can get. And it doesn't stop there. I will go into the different use cases of why a Relay chatbot, which is Web3 enabled. But that's basically how we kind of pivoted from being front ends for messaging to now we're creating bots that have ENS names and message through XMTP.
How'd you get to that next frontier?
I personally don't have a background in the trading side of crypto. My trades have been a sell signal. So I wouldn't say our bots are going to help as a trading bot. It's more helping as, for example, if a PoolTogether bot could educate you about what PoolTogether is. So anything you can do through a text conversation, you'll be able to do through voice. So the question I want to dive into is, like, how does ChatGPT handle money? And there's some banking APIs out there. I've seen one startup trying to do one-time credit card payments to pay for AI services. But there's on a Bankless podcast a few weeks ago, they had on the Alliance DAO, who wrote a really excellent blog post on the intersection of AI and Web3. And there's a sort of an epiphany from Ryan where he's like, holy shit, this whole time we've been making a financial system and banking rails for the robots.
There you go. Task number 1 is like, hey, can you do this transaction when gas is low, please? I would love that. Yeah. What are some other go-to like killer apps?
Like, chatbots can do a lot more than what we currently use them for, which is like basically withdrawing information from the chatbot. It's like a one-way flow of information from the chat to you. So by nature, you have to have your wallet connected. Like, your wallet is verified if you're chatting to the bot. And so the bot knows your token holdings, your NFT holdings, your transaction history, and the bot can customize the conversation to your wallet. So that's like a bidirectional flow of information. And so this bidirectional flow of tokens is something that I really haven't seen anyone else doing.
That's really cool. Like, there are rails that we're giving AI for banking. Like, there's also rails into crypto, depending on regulation and how that can work.
Well, like that concept of a bot that could be gating either free mints or user access to certain parts of the site based on completing knowledge tasks. Like, what I was referring to is more like quests, where the bot could ask for and prove certain knowledge from a new user and be like, all right, you've got this NFT now, you're part of the club.
What other blockers are there to adoption, or what else needs to happen before this is like the killer app?
I think proving out the case for the human AI connections and how AIs can really assist humans with onboarding to crypto and using crypto is the goal of Relay. And so we're working towards a future where people bring their own data, they bring their own prompts, and we wrap it up into what we call a robot and put it onto the Ethereum and XMTP networks.
Cool, Sean. So I wanted to see if you had anything else you wanted to address.
Relay.cc has a number of bots. We trained those back in February. And so we're working on 2 major partnerships that I can't announce yet, but they're companies you've definitely heard of that will have more sophisticated chatbots. And we're also going to be launching a sort of make your own bot for smaller startups to, one, have XMTP user-to-user chat on their site, kind of like a chat widget for that. And in addition, have a Relay chatbot that helps users onboard and does DevRel and that sort of thing. And so that's going to be coming out this summer. You can find us on Twitter at Relay_ETH, and really happy to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so I will reach out to you about PoolTogether bot. We got to have it. Thanks for listening. You can download the full episode of this week's PoolTogether community podcast on your favorite podcast app.